Namaste. You all are welcome back to our very popular program, Straight Drive. Straight Drive was basically, it was a drive of Sudhanshu Mani ji. He is with me. Somehow it discontinued for about 2, 3, 4 months. It is back again with a slight change. In few of the episodes, Sudhanshu ji will be doing it alone. Few of the episodes, I might be there. Few of the episodes, there will be some guest. Sudhanshu will be talking. And we thought, because Railway Recruitment Board, RRB, everyone is listening, RRB NTPC, RRB NTPC. NTPC, I was knowing National Thermal Power Corporation, but here NTPC is something different. Now, since Sudhanshu is already there, he is a second generation railwayman. He is the right person to tell us about what this all hangama is about. RRB, students going on the street, FIR being lodged and things like that. So Anshu, just tell us what this all the RRB is all about.
Thank you, Anand, and happy to be back in this program of Straight Drive, and we hope to continue it weekly. All right, so in 2018, it all started with the then Railway Minister, Piyush Goyal ji, announcing that railways would open up recruitment for 2.5 lakh vacancies. Remember, that was election time, and obviously with an eye on the election, this announcement was made because vacancies were piling up in railways for a long time. Finally, when the vacancy notice was issued, it was about 1.5 lakh only, not 2.5 lakh. It was a little more than 1 lakh for Group D, the lowest category, and 35,000 vacancies for what is called NTPC, which is non-technical popular category, which includes all clerical staff, guards, station master, stenos, and all ministerial staff. And this was in 5 different levels. 3 levels were based on the grade pay. 3 levels were those who where the qualification was graduation, and another 2 levels was for those with 10+2 category, and the Group D requirement is class 10th. What they did as a departure from the last time was they combined the examination in stage 1 for the graduate and 10+2 categories. Their contention being that, first of all, a common exam would be perhaps easier to handle, and then earlier graduates were appearing in both the exams. Now they would appear in this common exam, and evaluation will start from the top, so that the graduates would, and if you are selected in the topmost category, then you will not be eligible for a lower category. So this way, graduates would be weaned away, and lower vacancies in in the last 2 categories for 10+2 would be open to them more easily. This was the logic, and which has been contested. All right, so 1.25 crores applications approximately were received, and then there was a big delay. The exam was finally held in 2021. So you can imagine this was COVID situation, and that's what the government was perhaps saying, that because COVID it is getting delayed. But then COVID also resulted in huge unemployment, and that simmering issue of unemployment was raising its head. In such a situation, this delay, to my mind, was uncalled for. So many other things were going on, and knowing the mood of the nation, if you were serious about actually filling up these vacancies, this delay has caused a big problem. And everyone, in fact, all the applicants started feeling that railways were not serious for appointing these people, but just a charade was being kept, and that's why this delay. So this was problem number 1, an inordinate delay in holding the examination.
No, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, I have few very basic questions. First of all, let us talk. What I have understood, there are 3 categories: 10, Up to
Yes.
class 10, there is one category, 10 plus 2, one category, and graduate, third category.
Right.
Now, a very basic premise is that I assume so, there has to be a relationship between the question paper it is coming and the job which you are going to give it.
Correct.
There has to be some relationship. For the purpose of discussion, suppose the 10 plus 2 is going to do a job of a khalasi, then his temperament, his knowledge level, his education level, you will test him on a different scale. Whereas some person who is going to work as a ministerial staff, sitting in office, pushing files, his aptitude, his knowledge, his background will be different. So per se, making graduate and 10 plus 2 give the same exam gives me a feeling, and railways are justifying it, gives me a feeling, suppose there is a trial for 100 meters and 200 meters. So by this logic, you say that both the trials will be together, because 200 meter fellow has to run 100 meters.
Yep.
So why not make a single trial? So this logic doesn't stand good, that graduate in any case will come and give that exam of plus 10 plus 2. The set of questions, the environment, his aptitude. So I think so there railway has somehow has erred. And the second part is, the railway also takes a lot of money on this. It is around 500 rupees the application fees, and something is returned. If someone who is appearing, who is not appearing, nothing is returned. Now it is a huge money. If you are telling 1.25 crores, it comes to roughly about more than 650 crores. And right. Even if you go by a 10% FD or 9% FD, per year it is going to be about 65-70 crores of rupees. So if you're delaying it for 3 years, I mean, someone is answerable.
Yeah. So you are right. So this point which you raised today about the money for the application has not come in the media that strongly, and now that you say it, exactly. So if you take both the exams for the Group D as well as the NTPC, so the money collection of government would be above 1,000 crores. It's not a small amount. In COVID situation, if you keep delaying the exams, then the impression would be that, I mean, this is railways have found an unjust means of earning. So that point I fully agree with. It should not have been kept so high, or if you kept it high with the provision that you will return 400 rupees to those candidates who appear, that would have stood ground if you had quickly done the examination. आपने 2 साल तक एग्जाम नहीं किया, तो वो एक तो ये पॉइंट आपका सही है. As for the other point about a common exam, so railways justification, as I told you, was that शुरू में screening में they'll keep both the exams together and then evaluate it, and this will prevent 2 exams and graduates appearing in both and occupying some vacancy that would have been to detriment of 10 plus 2. But what you are saying perhaps has good reason. Now that you say it, I also agree that it's also a question of perception. The perception you are creating among the 10 plus 2 candidates is that we are being clubbed with graduates and our chances of qualifying here are being killed as it is.
Yes.
So that's right. I agree with you. Whatever be the administrative extra effort should be done, but the perception should not be that graduates are being favored, and just because we are only 10 plus 2 and suited for a job, we are being deprived. So I think, looking back, yes, that was also looks like a bit of a mistake.
I mean, just to give you an example, I mean, in our times, in Allahabad University, a lot of people used to go there for competitive exams. And we all know there are people who have missed the competitive exam and the IS and IPS by 1 or 2 marks. And then they have become UDC, upper division clerk. It was a very common thing in Allahabad University. People used to prepare. If they are not becoming IS, they will become PCS. If they are not becoming PCS, they will become UDC. Right. Going by this logic, there should be one exam of IS and UDC both. And why not the peon also? Because by this logic, a graduate can appear here. So this I think is this logic.
Okay. So what happened later?
Yes.
In the notification, they also said that they will call 20 times the number of vacancies for the second stage.
Okay.
Now, this was notified, so the perception to you and me and all the applicants would be that कि अगर 35,000 vacancy है तो 7 लाख लोग बुलाए जाएंगे. What happened is lot of graduate candidates appeared in many levels. There were 5 levels of exam, 5 grade base, 3 for graduate, 2 for 10 plus 2. So as a result, the number of heads, not roll numbers, actually called were 3.8 lakhs only. And this issue was simmering. Lot of 10 plus 2 candidates were saying that we are being deprived, and they had said that 20 times people would be called, and it has not been done. And this thing was simmering in social media quite a lot. It did not come on national media at all. But I remember these people were always pleading for some agency or the other to highlight it. Railways, I think, made a big mistake in not really gauging the situation. And when finally another thing happened in the Group D exam, this, which used to be always one stage, 1 crore candidate had applied. They said this will also be done in 2 stage. So this was, you could see there was the final nail in the coffin. Everyone felt that they have no intention of appointing people. They are only extending the exam somehow, and that also caused a lot of consternation. All this combined then resulted in those protests. Initially, as happened in Allahabad, they tried to deal it with a heavy hand. This is, as we keep talking about aspirational India and youth, and in an environment where unemployment has become such a problem, it had to be handled with more empathy. That was not done. You know, those protests happened and trains were burnt and so on. When things went out of hand, then the ministry decided to appoint a committee of, as media is saying uncharitably today, the committee was formed of the same people who have made all these decisions.
All these mistakes.
So, while and the date by which the committee would submit its report and a decision would be taken was kept in first week of March. So the impression now gained that government is only bothered about these elections. They somehow want to postpone this issue till election time. They have no intention of solving this problem, and protests further strengthened. So my take would have been that ultimately, because of because of the resentment, agreeing to calling 20 times was not a big deal. You would appoint only as many appointed. You should have simply agreed to it. Similarly, doing only 1 stage exam for Group D was also something within your grasp, and you should have realized the public sentiment and agreed to it. Or my feeling is this is what the government is going to do, or maybe already deciding to do. But by this time, a lot of damage to public property has been taken, and all the goodwill that they thought of that they would get 1.5 lakh vacancies has been lost. And so this has been handled poorly. Perception has been poor. Lack of information, whatever would have been your intention is fine, but mishandled.
And Sudhanshu, there is a small thing which I wanted to add. I've gone through all these. I mean, I've seen a lot of children, I will call them. I mean, students protesting and things like that. They have a very basic grievance also. Because today, all these exams, 90% students go for some coaching.
Yes.
That is, yes. I am not calling it a racket, but it is something. Without coaching, you cannot compete all these. You cannot crack these exams. Be it IT, be it any. Now, students who are appearing for these exams have to keep on giving that fees for coaching. Because if you are not finalizing the result, they are still uncertain about their future. So they will keep on going that there was a boy who was weeping and telling ki in my house, my mother is not well, and there is a matter of whether we should go for her dawai or my fees. The general consensus in the house is to go for the fees. She had to wait for that medicine. Now, this also someone has to understand. Number one. Number two, whether we agree or we don't agree, whether you might, somehow this government has given impression that they only are bothered about the elections, which was in the Kisan protest also. Government took back those laws when the election was around the corner. So again, students are telling that making that committee to give its report by 4th of March is just to take care of this exam, and few are telling that they are going to recruit only before 2024 elections to make it an election plan that we are recruiting so much. So
I agree with you, yes.
That disconnect with the...
Yes. So there is one simple point. You see, this entire, let's not talk of state government, but entire central government number of vacant posts are about 40 lakhs. Out of which I think about 7 to 8 lakhs are vacant.
All the departments.
All in central government combined. Now the government must understand that unemployment is a big problem, and they cannot give employment to lot of aspiration through the central government appointments. आप 7-8 लाख वैकेंसी में आप 7-8 लाख को खुश कर पाओ या नहीं, पर 4-5 करोड़ और जिनको नहीं मिलेगा वो तो दुखी होंगे. आपको you have to think of other schemes to generate employment in the scheme, various economic measures or whatever have to be taken. तो ये तो वो एग्जाम्पल हुआ कि आपने सोचा था कि बहुत आपको वाहवाही मिलेगी कि आप 2.5 लाख या 1.5 लाख अपॉइंटमेंट करने चले हो. It has backfired on the government. और जैसा कहते हैं कि ना खुदा ही मिला ना विसाले सनम, ना इधर के हुए ना उधर के हुए.
So hopefully, and Sudhanshu, that's just the last word.
Yeah.
There is a person called Khan sir. Khan sir is very popular. I don't know why Khan sir, there is a FIR against Khan sir. That, as far as I am concerned, I have seen that man is trying to pacify students. He is very good. I mean, you see his YouTube.
Yes,
he is very good on his subjects. Somehow, ये खिसियानी बिल्ली खम्बा नोचे वाली types है. Why?
There are two things. As you said, the Khan sir is a phenomena. मैं तो बिहार में रहा हूँ, so I like that Bihari way of speaking. So I always like his program, and he's a phenomena, and he's revered by.
And he's good. It's good.
Revered by the students. मुझे तो देखिए बिहार में खान मुस्लिम तो होते ही हैं, लेकिन हिंदू भी होते हैं, तो मुझे पता नहीं था कि ये हिंदू हैं कि मुसलमान हैं. अभी पता चला जब कंट्रोवर्सी हुई कि खान सर इज अ मुस्लिम. अब वेदर दैट हैज आल्सो प्लेड अ पार्ट इन इट, आई डोंट नो, बट फॉर दिस वाज आल्सो अ बिग मिस्टेक टू गो आफ्टर अ पर्सन with FIR who's revered by all the students. It was also not understood. ये लोगों के नब्ज पे हाथ पूरा गवर्नमेंट का दिख नहीं रहा इस वक्त. ये गलत था, और अल्टीमेटली उसी खान सर से आपने अपील कराई कि भाई स्टूडेंट्स आप तोड़ फोड़ ना करें. एंड आई हैव नॉट सीन एनी वीडियो वेयर खान सर हैज इंसाइटेड एनीवन. सो दिस वाज अनदर मिस्टेक, अननेसेसरी.
एंड मुझे लगता है कि ये थोड़ा सेंसिटिविटी, दैट संवेदनशीलता जो है, एंड स्पेशली टुवर्ड्स दी स्टूडेंट्स,
खास करके आज जब मेरे ख्याल से जैसा रिपोर्ट्स कह रही हैं कि बेरोजगारी जो है पीक पे है, अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट इज एट इट्स पीक, एंड अ लिटिल बिट मोर सेंसिटिविटी, मोर एम्पैथी इज नीडेड फ्रॉम द गवर्नमेंट.
Thank you so much, Sudhanshu, and let us hope that we continue with the straight drive.
Yes, we will.
Thank you so much.
We will. Thank you.